Hey everybody, welcome into the first and I guess hopefully not last episode of NESN Around, the new NESN.com podcast, which is really about nothing in particular. I'm NESN.com's Mike Cole. This is NESN.com's Ricky Doyle. I have no really idea how to describe this, which is probably something we should have thought about before.
No, well, that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Here's the way I thought of it, Mike. Is, you know, we do these Facebook live chats usually end of the week, Friday, big events, things like that. And I don't know how many times I caught myself using the expression, we were talking on air beforehand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're always doing that, saying, oh yeah, we were shooting the breeze in the break room, whatever, a little while ago. So I figured we bring those conversations on air a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of them might be, I don't know, random, loosely planned, I guess, but whatever.
Yeah.
Just messing around, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
You like that name, huh?
I love it. It's questionably named, but critically acclaimed. Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll play it by ear, but basically, it's a loose format. We're just going to talk about things going on in sports, try to be funny, make some jokes. It probably won't be funny, but I know one thing is that we'll be negative about a lot of stuff. That's kind of what we do. So with that, let's get into our first, what do we call these? We'll call them segments, as it were.
Well, we got this is a big week too. We planned it out this way that we started. You know, we've been thinking about doing this for a while, but I feel like this is a good week to do it. A lot to get into. We got the tournament. You got you got opening day coming up. WrestleMania. I mean, I feel underdressed right now sitting next to you, but so we'll touch on all of it at some point along the line here.
All right. Let's start with something we're going to call the hate debate, because again, not really the sunniest of people. We don't like a lot of things.
You could say we're very pessimistic about a lot of topics.
I have a reputation as being kind of a curmudgeon. You're a little bit, you know, in social circles, you're the brighter one.
I'm a chameleon.
Too, which is saying a lot.
I'm a chameleon. I'm a little versatile.
But two things I absolutely
Most
hate.
of it's garbage, though. I mean, really deep down, I'm a very negative
that's true.
person.
You have a black soul.
I mean, you wear it on your sleeve a little bit more than I do. But at the end of the day, we hate a lot of things. But yeah, go ahead. It's a big season for the sports. A lot going on.
Yes. There's so much, you know, everywhere you look. We just talked about baseball kicking into gear, the NCAA tournament. That's not good for us, two people who really don't like socializing a whole lot, because you're caught in these awkward situations in the office or at home or at the grocery store, at the bar. Everybody wants to talk to you about either their NCAA tournament bracket or their fantasy baseball team. And
for us, it's heightened too from a sports standpoint.
Well, that's the thing. You can't go to you go to
if
the
people know what you do,
right? Yeah,
you're gonna get it a lot.
I was like, what do you think of my fantasy team?
Because all of a sudden, I'm an expert on Middle Tennessee State.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell do I know?
Yeah.
I like to think that, you know, I have enough wherewithal. I pay attention enough. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not breaking down their zone defense.
Well, you actually did. We did that a couple of weeks ago. It came out pretty well.
Yeah, it was all right.
So
not our best, not our
let's best. The hate debate. What do you dislike more? People talking about their NCAA brackets or people talking about their fantasy?
Yeah, because we're getting into the height of fantasy baseball season now. We just rolled out a package the other day on NESN.com. I might want to check it out. We'll plug stuff along the way. Like, why not, right?
There's no shortage of material, that's for sure.
For me, it's 100% brackets. 110% brackets, because first of all, it's a set it and forget it thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's only so much you can talk about with brackets, and most of it, the person who is explaining their bracket and the person listening to the person explain their bracket don't know anything.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, I would say that the people that are diving into these brackets are casual fans. I think there's a lot more to sink your teeth into when it comes to the fantasy realm. And so it's just, go ahead, tell me about your illustrious 13-4 upset. What's the rationale behind it? I mean, what did you see, an informative tweet 6 minutes before breaking this down?
There's nothing worse than a 12-5 team, 12 beats a 5. I had that. It's under what premise? What did you see in the matchup? Jay Billis probably told you that was a good 12-5.
What did you see on tape? Yeah. At least with fantasy, I think there's enough of enough exposure to certain players and whatnot that I think that you might have a more knowledgeable opinion on the matter. And it's also it's a little more. I don't mind all that much if somebody's breaking down like a a hypothetical trade, fantasy trade.
Right.
You better. I'll tell you what. You better get in and get out.
Yeah.
You better tell me
that's not a lingering
You better tell me the particulars of this trade, what you're leaning towards. I'll give you my 2 cents on it. I'm not dragging this on all day. I'm not doing it. I'm simply not doing that. But I don't mind that all that much. I don't hate it. On the hate meter, it's
yeah. I'm gonna go with fantasy baseball drafts because like at least the tournament is very relevant. It's within like if you're at the bar and you're watching a game and somebody wins on a buzzer beater, it's like, oh man, that just cost me $100. At least I can relate to that. You can relate to mine. It's like we're not in the same fantasy. Like, I don't care about like. You drafted Mike Trout. So did everybody. Like it's, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just,
see, but the thing is, like, say you see a nice buzzer beater for a nice upset that you both have. Great, a lot of camaraderie. But at the end of the day, why did you see that coming?
I just think it's
it was all by chance.
It's just
I piss on my head and dummies raining. All right?
It's just much easier to relate and sympathize, I think, with people when it's a much smaller, specialized thing.
I guess you're sharing. Yeah, I understand.
You know what I mean? At least you can bond over that. But no, I'm with it. Especially as it gets later in the tournament, I think it's easier to do that because now you're talking about like your final 4 teams are gone or whatever. I can sympathize with that. Like I said, if you're sitting here trying to tell me your rationale behind picking the 14 to beat the 3, I really don't care, dude. Just go pound sand.
One thing, well, a couple things that I guess to lean in your favor a little bit here is the fantasy thing. That's a season-long endeavor too, so you're gonna get that several times throughout the course of the year. Yeah. You know, you'll get the mid-season breakdown, you get the
injuries,
you get the week 12 breakdown, you got waiver-wide drops, whatnot. I can deal with all that because, like I said, hopefully it's a get in, get out situation. You get a 2-minute conversation, boom, you're on your way. Another thing that I can't tolerate with the fantasy realm is immediately following the draft. Everybody sits there and tells you how stacked their team is.
Yeah.
So what are we just gonna have? 12 dynasties?
I know.
Is that what just nobody's losing? It's gonna be slugfests every week. It's what it is. This is how stacked my team is.
Yeah.
So.
In either case, it's like whatever you start with is so much different than what you end with. So it's like we're all wasting our time here, which is really just life in a nutshell. Let's move on. Speaking of college basketball, you could argue that the biggest star, if you want a star, of the NCAA tournament has been LaVar Ball. That's not a guy who plays college basketball. It's a guy who played very little college basketball.
No, he did. I mean, he did.
We'll get into that. If you've been living under a rock, LaVar Ball is the father of Lonzo Ball, point guard at UCLA, projected to be, could be the #1 pick. He came on strong at the end of the year. Lonzo seems like a good kid. He's got 2 younger brothers who are going to play at UCLA, both expected to go to the NBA. And you know who's going to tell you all about that is LaVar Ball himself. This guy has been running his mouth for literally the entire season. He was on First Take earlier this week and said, I got 2 more coming. So this isn't ending anytime soon. This guy, blah, 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 saying he could beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. He's running after Shaq, running down LeBron. This guy just not.
Well, speaking of conversation we have and bringing on to here, he might be a maniacal genius.
Yeah.
Like, he's out there. He might be a genius, though.
Yep.
In the sense that, he is getting all this attention. And, I mean, I can't help but feel for the likes of Lonzo Ball because everything I've seen of him, he seems like a pretty quiet kid, and you just get the sense of his demeanor. It's like, Dad, shut the hell up, Like, I just want me to play basketball here.
The fact that he hasn't challenged his father to a fist fight yet is really remarkable.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure they've gone through plenty of tournaments back in the day where he's gone home in tears. Maybe didn't eat dinner.
Yeah,
just out in the yard shooting free throws. But yeah, this guy, he's off his rocker, that's for sure. And well, we know he has the skills to back it up.
Right.
And because he allegedly could beat Michael Jordan.
And that brings us into our next segment, the viral breakdown of the week. We're going to look at LaVar Ball playing basketball. Our friends at the Hoops Column hooked us up with this video. Let us use it.
Gotta get off the ground.
We're just going to let this run. We'll do a little commentary. LaVar Ball, number 8 in red, correct?
Oh, look at that.
The best part.
Ironic.
Michael Jordan hitting a 3 in his face. Let's see. There's big LaVar running down the middle of the court.
I'll tell you, he's got to assert himself in the paint.
Hey, how about you box out? Look at those clumsy hands.
Slippery fingers.
Like 3 or 4 times he almost paralyzes himself in this video.
Oh, man.
He just looks like a guy, I'm going to stand in the middle and you guys give me the ball. Not playing a whole lot of defense.
So just for anybody who's watching right now, he's number 8. I believe he's number 8. Where is he?
See,
you don't even look at him. Oh, you're gonna go up a little stronger with that, though.
Not a whole lot of lift there in those big legs.
No.
Let's see here.
Cinder blocks attached to his
really?
feet.
Yeah, this guy they want to play in the middle.
He's subscribing to the Jaleel Okafor defense. He's not playing for which.
There he is.
Now it makes sense with his son, the senior in high school, that scored 92 points.
Yeah,
and he was just standing at half court the whole time.
Cherry picking the whole time. I tell you
There
what,
we go.
LaVar looks good these days. I think this video is a few years old. He certainly shed some pounds.
Oh, look at that! Look at this! Look at that! Look at this!
What the hell was that?
Oh man!
Oh, he tries to brick wall it to himself and almost runs into a literal brick wall.
What's he got for? I mean, I'd like to see him pull up there.
Oh,
test out the jumper.
tried to play a little defense there.
There you go. Running.
Oh.
Raindrops.
That's an assist. He's gonna let
Let it
everybody
rain.
know. I got a dime on that.
He's letting the officials score.
Yeah.
But you better have me in the box.
Fill up
score.
my stat sheet. I don't know why that is in there. Oh, he's probably. Yep, there he is.
Look at this.
Oh, nice jump stop.
Aggressive inbounds.
Yeah.
By the way, that was
I know,
reminiscent of the South Carolina game the other day.
Well, the guy's gonna
Got away to travel.
stand 85 feet away from.
Look at a very big undershirt. Getting filled with sweat as we move on here.
He's not in like half of the pictures when they're playing defense. Oh, there he is. Why did he even show up?
Oh, he's
Look at a bully.
that's a bully move, yeah.
Oh.
Look at that! Wow.
Get on the floor.
I'm
I'm
ready
a
an
little
all-star in this video. Is that guy? Holy smokes! Well, give it to him. Good feed, unselfish.
Hey, that's where Lonzo gets the court vision from, I guess.
Basically, what I'm seeing so far is he's very laissez-faire with the basketball. He's got some loose handles, some slippery digits, questionable decision-making at best. Really,
not a lot of hustle.
His on-court IQ isn't the best I've seen. He's not Magic Johnson out there.
I just said he doesn't hustle, but I'd like to amend that. He does hustle, but only when he's got a chance to get the ball. It's unbelievable. They'll be running like a 2-on-1 fast break, and all of a sudden, red number 8 comes flying through.
Well, I mean, clearly the play of the game from the 3 minutes that we just saw was the off the backboard boom shakalaka that he was going for. I don't know.
I think he was trying to brick wall it to himself.
Yeah, he was looking for
let's say
a rim rattler.
Even if he gets it up there lightly, it comes off nice.
What do you got?
Is he gonna dunk it?
Yeah, beach ball it. Like you play 50 back in high school. The one-handed hoop, get out of the game. I don't know. That's a bold move though.
So yeah, I don't think he's beating Michael Jordan in a game of 1-on-1 anytime soon. Let's get into
his position is too. I mean, he seemed to be all over the floor.
Yeah,
he didn't have one set position. He's kind of a wanderer.
Seems like a guy who would just, if he's down by 10, punch you in the face. All right, like I said, we're kind of negative, but every once in a while we like to keep things a little positive. We'll call this a segment. It just feels so stupid.
Yeah.
Off the ledge. We're gonna, things that good things coming up this week. And like we said, picked a good week. Cherry picks. We did LaVar Ball it this week.
We were half court.
Yeah.
Took it around with the next
plenty,
week.
Plenty to be excited about. In case you couldn't tell, I'm pretty excited about WrestleMania. WrestleMania coming up this Sunday in Orlando, Florida. Kind of wish I was going, but...
Be a nice destination WrestleMania to go to.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe if this show doesn't suck, we'll be at WrestleMania next year. A little messing around on,
that would be nice.
On location.
Where is it next year? Do we know?
New Orleans.
No. I'd like to mess around on Bourbon Street a little bit.
Might be there though already. The fiance and I in talks to maybe take our honeymoon to New Orleans. So
preliminary
that's
discussion.
how you know she's a keeper. It was her idea. But also opening day on the way. Baseball season. I would say it's our favorite time of year, right?
Yeah.
So got us thinking which current Major League players would be the best pro wrestlers, and maybe which WWE wrestlers would be the best baseball players. This is truly a lame thing that we're doing here. That you'll hear on Really Bad Sports Radio, but who cares? We're going to do it anyway. Baseball player you think would be a good wrestler?
Oh, not even before baseball player. LaVar Ball would have been a great promos he would cut.
He cuts the promo.
Very good heel.
He's a very good, he's like Bobby the Brain Heenan, great manager. He just stands behind stands in front of the talent and lets them.
He's not afraid to roll up his sleeves, get his hands dirty, maybe get a little Mr. Fuji, a little sand in the eyes. He'll hit you with a cane in the knees. He doesn't care.
Rest in peace, Mr. Fuji.
But no, for baseball players, I was racking my brain about this.
This is a tough one.
Racking my brain all morning. One guy is a nice one in the cruiserweight division, if you will.
Oh, sure.
Marcus Stroman. just coming off the old World Baseball Classic. You know, he was already in the midst of a little controversy, but you know, short guy, like him as a cruiserweight. Have you ever seen his dad?
His
Absolute beast.
His dad's enormous.
So you throw him in the corner, you know, as maybe your manager, as your LaVar Ball in this situation. You're talking about a legitimate star right here. And also, this got me thinking of the WBC as well. Adam Jones. He's a pretty entertaining guy, I would say.
Yeah, he would be. He's like your baby face title holder guy. Yeah,
and I mean, he has the track, right? We saw he was on Raw a couple years ago.
That's true.
When it was in Baltimore. So he certainly has the personality to do it. Athletic.
Be a high flyer, obviously.
Yeah. So you know, there's a couple guys that stand out.
I'm gonna go with I tell you what, the best.
I got a few names that I've just been like thinking about. We'll just throw them all out.
Best wrestling faction in the bigs is just the entire Toronto Blue Jays team, because I'm going with Jose Bautista, who I think would be a fantastic professional wrestler, because he strikes me as a guy.
He can take a bump.
Well, and here's the thing, he beats up on the little guys. You know, he runs his mouth, he showboats, he does all of his things against the little guys. You know, he's a perfect heel. He's not afraid to talk. He's not afraid to showboat. But, you know, at the end of the day, when you build this whole story to the end, he gets his comeuppance, and, you know, a guy like Rugner Odor just lays him out in the middle of the ring.
Yep.
So.
He gets under your skin, and that's what we need.
Our producer, Andre, is suggesting Matt Bush, which I'm not even going to touch. And what would his gimmick be?
I don't think he'd even the Sandman.
No.
Yeah. Hey, look at a guy like Noah Syndergaard, too.
That's a good one.
Because he has the look, but at the same time,
McMahon would love him.
I feel like it'd be a Roman Reigns situation.
We would hate him because it's
Syndergaard has the look. He's getting the push. Maybe he doesn't deserve it, but you know he's got the locks, and you want to make him the face of the franchise, if you will.
Definitely a guy who could kick your ass and then steal your girlfriend.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it is. That's a really good one. It's Roman Reigns personified.
And then here in NESN, we can stay local. Chris Sale. He's got the size.
Yeah.
We know he can fly off the hinges. He's a very passionate guy.
Yep.
So I'd like to see what he's capable of doing backstage, and maybe a no holds barred falls count anywhere match. We'll take all these guys and put them in a lumberjack match.
That's a good idea. Royal Rumble, maybe.
Yeah.
Josh Reddick, guy who stands out just because he loves wrestling so much. The guy's always got a belt on him. I know we said we're going to do current players, but this would be my favorite tag team of all time.
Yeah.
Julian Tavares and Vicente Padilla. Just, talking two crazy guys from Red Sox past. Put those
Alfredo
guys
Sevis. Get yourself a little faction.
Right, Sevis too.
Take people down, spray paint NWO, you get the...
That's right, exactly. I think that they just total nut jobs. That would be awesome. Any wrestlers you think would be good baseball players? Currently, I'm not sure, but I look at a guy like, Sting. He's got the baseball bat.
He's got the supply. He's got the equipment.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan knows his way around a piece of wood. So
yes, he does. I would say Fandango. He's got quick feet.
That's good.
That'll help you. Maybe we can play up the middle. He could slap down a tag with the best of them. I got to think Mark Henry can put a few in the cheap seats if he gets a hold of one. Probably strikeout prone. He's definitely prone to the strikeout, but he strikes me as a guy that hits a $180 and hit 40 home runs. He'd be Eric Thames. That's the guy that's coming back now. After hitting like 900 home runs in Korea. Let's see. Xavier Woods. He's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
He seems like he's a well-rounded individual, can do a lot. Maybe he's good at baseball too.
Yeah, sticking with the New Day, Kofi Kingston, right around, he's a little older,
Speedster.
but
he's quick.
He's quick.
I think he can swipe a few bags.
Yep.
Yeah.
Athletic enough, so yeah. That was fun.
What do you know? I'm excited for opening day, though. What are you more excited for? Just because we're on the topic.
Yeah.
WrestleMania. It's tough because one is, a once-a-year deal.
I'm going to go...
One just signifies what you got coming up.
I'm going opening day because at least it means that summer might be here eventually.
That's a good call.
WrestleMania, and again, I got excited for WrestleMania last year and it sucked, so I'm not getting my hopes up this year.
Although I will say, I love opening day just because of what it symbolizes, but it's overrated.
It is. It's
the knee-jerk reaction.
Handful of baseball games, and now there's 161 more to go.
Yeah, it's no different than what you got coming up in, some rainy day in May.
Yeah, same thing. All right, Next
Put
up,
that to bed.
We're putting that to bed. Moving on to what we're going to call Put It to Bed. We could have called this, the same lines, Wet Blanket. We're going to talk about things that everybody else is excited about. We really couldn't care about. We're going to start with the Oakland Raiders. They're moving.
Well, maybe not excited about in this particular instance, but
right. Everybody's talking about the Raiders. They're moving to Las Vegas. I don't care at all. I just don't care about the Raiders moving to Las Vegas. This became a huge story all of a sudden. We were kind of, shooting down Andre for saying that this was a big deal. It's all I'm seeing on ESPN right now. I just don't care. It just doesn't. Well, I feel bad for the maniacs who paint their faces, the grown men who paint their faces and wear shoulder pads to a dumpy football stadium in California. Sorry, guys. Everything else, I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm done with these relocations in general. Yeah. Just because, and I understand the passion behind it if you were, a follower of these teams. Yeah. So I admit it's not something that we can relate to very much. But yeah, like you said, what I want to put to bed is the whole like screwed over X factor to it. You left me high and dry. I'm gonna go out and burn my jerseys. Yeah. All right, it sucks. You lost your team. I get it. Maybe there's, some, you want to say shady business behind it. I don't know. Think whatever you want to think, but to go out and start burning clothes in the middle of the street just seems a little over the top to me.
That and all the overused cliches and stuff. Mark Davis seems like a Vegas guy. Wait till he gets his hands on the buffets.
That's the thing too about the people are treating Vegas. I get it. It's Vegas. A lot goes on in Vegas that doesn't happen in any other place in the country. But people are treating Vegas like it's the Mars. Yeah. It's the Wild West that you can that players are going to go there and they're not even going to be able to field the team because it's going to turn into the hangover every Saturday night before the game's on Sunday. Well, I think that just, as an organization, you pick players who want screwballs. Yeah. You know what I mean? Let's get some guys in there who can handle living, 5 miles from the strip. I just think it's a complete overreaction to say all of a sudden these young players are going to go there and it's going to be no holds barred. It's like a job to do.
Nobody likes to overthink things more than the NFL community and football community in general, where it's they're already talking about, I saw a tweet the other day saying teams are already preparing how they're going to go to Vegas to handle life on the strip or handle. Yeah. It's you're going for a day to play a football game. I think you should be able to babysit these grown men well enough to keep them away from the casinos and strip clubs for 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and imagine a lot of these, when they do move there, a lot of these guys are probably going to live nowhere even near actual Vegas. These guys aren't going to be living at Circus. Right. You know what I mean? They're not going to be on the side counting cards down Riviera.
The Bellagio, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's somewhat of an overreaction. But yeah, the whole thing, it's just reading some of the quotes from that have been coming out too about how the city council president saying when they fail in Vegas they'll not come back to the city, not on my watch. Yeah. It's just I just don't like the whole, I don't know.
They're not gonna fail in Vegas.
Tough
either.
breakup. Which I get it. It doesn't do it for me.
In the long run, it's gonna be kind of cool. At some point, they're gonna have a Super Bowl. A Super Bowl in Vegas is gonna be something that's a sight to behold. But at the end of the day, I don't know.
I also don't buy that. The people that are well, I would never take the Raiders back. If all of a sudden in 2023 or whatever they reverse course and they wanted to go back to Oakland, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people that will welcome back with open arms.
Yeah, I think Oakland's doing
those shoulder pads would come right back out of the closet. They'd be going down. They'd be on eBay buying. It'd be another LeBron James situation where you're trying to recoup the merchandise that you lit on fire in the middle of the street. So yeah, I'm not buying any of that either.
Wild thing is it's not happening until 2019, so you get 2 seasons of just.
That's awkward.
You're gonna have these adults crying to send away their team. It's gonna be awkward. Do you want to talk about Floyd and Conor at all?
Yeah, this is one.
This to bed. Too?
I really want to put this to bed. That anybody who says that Conor McGregor has any chance whatsoever in a boxing match against Floyd Mayweather that take is absolutely asinine. There's just no way in the world. That's like suggesting that that Madison Bumgarner or Jake Arrieta would have competed, if they competed in the home run derby last year, would have put up up a fight. Sure, you have some skills that are transferable. You know what I mean? I get it. McGregor can throw a punch. But to step in the ring with one of the greatest boxers of all time, for whatever you think of him, and think that he's going to be competitive, and more or less to win it, let alone be competitive. Right. It's completely flabbergasting to me. I mean, this isn't like I said, you're fighting a guy at the top of his craft.
Yeah.
You're not fighting, Spider Rico from Mighty Mick's gym in Philadelphia. This is a guy who is legit champion, one of those decorated boxers of all time, and to think that you're going to win the match, it's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid, and people aren't backing down from it. It's on TV every damn day.
Manny Pacquiao, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters of his generation, got his ass whooped by Floyd Mayweather. That's all you need to know.
This is CM Punk all over again.
No, because at least CM Punk. But CM Punk was fighting. Who did he fight? Mickey Gall or whatever.
Yeah. So
it's not like he was going up against an all-time great. At least, and even then, we all knew CM Punk wasn't going to win. But just to go up against arguably the best of all time in his weight class, it's insane.
And it's also, on the flip side, if Floyd was stepping into the octagon, he wouldn't have a chance in the octagon.
We need a 2 out of 3 here. We need a boxing match, a UFC match, and then
something to settle it.
Just fight in an alley.
Yeah,
actual
barroom brawl.
Yeah, that's it. Now we're talking.
Yeah, we need something to even it out here.
At 50-yard line at the Raiders' new stadium.
Yeah, but we got to put that to bed.
All right,
I'm ready to put to bed the whole thing. Really,
it's too much.
Fight or not, just do it. Get out of my hair.
Before we get out of here, we're bringing something back from a football show, or the NFL Picks podcast that we did during the season. We call it Show and Tell. We bring a little something every week to represent, I guess, something in the sports world. What do you got this week?
All right, my show and tell. I don't know where to put it. Thankfully, it's small, but I got it right here. It's just a hat, really, and it's got the Pat the Patriot logo on it, which this is because the proposal was on the table. They have the NFL annual meeting this week, and one of the things on the table would potentially allow the Patriots to wear the Pat the Patriot logo helmet again.
Right, sure.
I'm all for that. Yeah. Love the logo. I think it's one of the best logos in sports. And I'm not even saying that because as a New Englander, I grew up a Patriots fan. That said, I need people to stop saying they should go back to this logo on a full-time basis.
Oh my God.
It's just embrace it for what it is. Embrace it for what it is, which is a nice throwback logo. Wear them sparingly a couple of times a year. But the older generation just latches onto it and tells you the Pat the Patriot logo. It's great. They need to go back to those. You don't need to go back to those. I won 5 Super Bowls with the other uniforms. Stick with what works.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's too living in the past for me. I'd like to see it once, twice a year, but let's get off the whole they should bring it back full time.
That's like the big thing. This whole the uniform thing nowadays is everybody's got a thought on uniforms and jerseys, and the same thing is always just like, here's a list of the top 10 jerseys of all time, and it's all old stuff. It's like, not everything throwback is great. We don't need to just go back to 1970s for everything. It's annoying.
Yep.
Put it to bed.
And this is coming from an objective Patriots fan. I mean, I acknowledge that Tom Brady's only going to play 10 more years and only going to win 5 more Super Bowls. But let's do it in the uniforms they got going on right now. Let's do it in the blues.
Yeah, 5 to 10, whatever you say. I got a light. It's a little. Nice. I don't know if this doesn't have a siren, but it might as well have a siren. Lights, call the ambulance, do whatever. Warning, caution, Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James. They are in trouble. They're in big trouble.
They got issues.
This is. I guess we're going to have some legitimate sports talk. I looked up this morning. The Cavs have lost their last 4 games by an average of 21 points. Granted, they're resting a lot of players. That's something we can get into down the line. The resting players thing drives me bonkers. But the Cavs are in a world of hurt, and I still think they probably win the East anyway against I think the Celtics get there. But not good news, and not that anybody really cares, because I think people really enjoy seeing LeBron James and his team kind of stink, for lack of a better term. I would not get used to it, but for the time being, it's to sound the alarm if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers.
It certainly opens things up.
It does.
It could make the playoffs a little more interesting.
Yep. I'm just glad to see them stink. It's just not a very likable team. All right, before we get out of here, let's do Bet of the Week. We're going to make a ridiculous prediction or whatever every week.
Yeah, this is where we can just kind of wing it and throw out a crazy prediction every week.
Like
and then
we haven't been winging it for the last.
This is true.
Minutes.
And then we'll just. But I like the fact that we can look back on this next week and say, that was very dumb of us.
Yeah, we'll revisit every week and go from there. So
we'll own it.
Yeah,
in other words,
kick it off.
I'm gonna have a seizure with that light.
I'm sorry.
Too. Jesus, it's blinding me.
It is, yeah.
All right, my prediction is that the South Carolina Gamecocks will be your national champions the next time we sit here and do this podcast. And I mean, it's out there. Obviously, they got I believe it's a 2% chance is like basically what they have to win this thing. Obviously, it would be the underdogs in both of the games if they do win this. But I just think Sindarius Thornwell is probably the most underappreciated player in the country. And just watching that team play defense, it's awesome.
Yep.
So disruptive, such a pain in the ass to play against. Become a huge fan of the Gamecocks in this tournament.
I am so excited for them to just get beat by 25 by Gonzaga. For mine, this is not really going out on much of a limb, but I think the UConn women are going to win the national championship by 50 points. They have blown.
Are you going to tell me they were going to lose?
No. They're going to win by. They're going to win by 50. I think the record is like 30. They're going to blow it out of the water and cap off the most just uninteresting season of basketball ever. That's no disrespect to Connecticut. I like riling them up. I'll probably hear from them for saying this, but just it's so boring. They're going to win by 50, which means hopefully I'm wrong and they end up losing because I think that's best for them in the long run. But I don't know. I couldn't think of anything, so I'm going to go with just over the top.
They might never lose.
They might. That would be a good one.
They got, the best high school player. I don't
know
why.
You're going to sit here and make a second bet of the week and say UConn's never going to lose again?
Yeah, as long as I'm alive.
Yeah.
I'm playing with house money anyways.
Yeah, and thus brings us to the end of NESN Around, I guess is what we're still calling this. Our weekly podcast. We might be back next week if there's enough.
Yeah, we'll leave this light on too, see if it's still blinking by the time we come back.
I'm NESN.com's Mike Cole. That's Ricky Doyle. Thanks for joining us, and if you stuck with us for the whole thing, more props to you. We'll be back next week. See you later.